Hey, I'm Shona and welcome to A Chat With, the cozy corner of the Venture Vault where we have honest, encouraging conversations about what it really looks like to start. If you've been thinking about starting a business but you're not sure what yet, or you've already started and you're quietly feeling a little bit alone in it, you're in exactly the right place. I am over the moon to welcome my first ever guest to the Venture Vault, the incredibly talented Sacha Cahill. Sacha is co-founder of EverAmbr, formerly Amber Eyewear, an award-winning, extremely slick, functional eyewear brand, which also has sold in over 90 countries to date. She's also a brand and graphic design expert and one of my oldest friends. Sacha has also worked with Ireland's most loved and recognised beauty entrepreneur, Amy Connolly, and her award-winning cosmetics brand, Sculpted. And she's here today to tell us all about it. Sacha, you're here.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you, Shona.
We go way back.
Yes,
and I'm
do.
so happy that you're my first guest because we are school pals.
I know.
And kind of neighbours. Like, we live quite close to each other too.
I know, and we always
I should have given you a lift. And we're going to have a little cheers.
Cheers, Shu.
To the first podcast. We're having a little mango and peach sip. But thank you so much for doing this. Now, I know you very well, but I would like to do a little quick fire, get to know me, some questions. Just a little icebreaker. Is that okay?
Yes, go for it.
So what is something you are obsessed with right now? It doesn't have to be business related. It can be like anything.
Okay. I feel like that's a very hard question.
Yeah.
I have 3 small kids, so I don't have
busy.
time to breathe. So I kind of am obsessed with nothing. Let me just
You can say me. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, you. I suppose this podcast has been on my mind. No, actually, I'm reading a really good book.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is actually very good.
What's the book about?
It's called Strangers.
Okay.
It's actually a divorce memoir, which sounds really sad, but it's actually really good. It's about these a married couple. They're both socialites in New York, and they're from really wealthy families, and they divorced totally out of the blue during lockdown, and it's just about their story and their upbringings, and it's fascinating. It's wild. It's learning about like New York in like the 60s and 70s.
I was going to say, because you love New York, you have a bit of a, we all do. Well, you lived there for longer than me. I was there for like 6 weeks or something. You were there
I was only there for like a year and a bit.
That's a long time though.
But yeah.
Yeah, you love it though there, New York.
I do.
Yeah, New York's
best
amazing.
place on earth.
I think it's the best place I've ever been. If someone said to me, where would you go? I'd be like, New York.
Same. I would live there in a heartbeat.
Buzzy. I don't know what's like now though. It's kind of probably different than, like, I wasn't there since 2012.
I actually went back in November, and it actually was a little bit scary. I think I was staying in a grimy area. I was in the Lower East Side, and I had the baby with me, and I was a little bit scared.
Okay.
There's lots of crazies there.
But isn't that because, I know, but I think because we're older as well. Like, we were like 22, 23 we were there, and you don't have the same.
Yes.
You have less inhibitions.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So another quick fire question. What are you watching on TV at the moment?
I'm actually watching this unbelievable show. I'm really happy you asked that question.
Okay.
It's called Super Pumped.
Okay.
And it's the story of Uber. It's like a dramatization of the story of Uber, which I didn't know anything about. Okay. And it's wild. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Do you know that actor? He's so cute.
Yeah, he's very cute.
He plays Travis Kalanick, who's the founder of Uber.
Okay.
And it's very much like, did you watch the WeWork show with Adam Driver?
No.
Oh, you should watch that. It's
I know.
really good.
It's
the story of
like
WeWork.
you said, I have no time to watch telly.
I know, it's hard. But if you can squeeze it in.
Yeah, a bit of Peppa Pig here.
But no, watch the Uber thing. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. It's loads of like...
Where, Netflix? Disney?
Well, I actually watch it on my dodgy box. I probably shouldn't be saying. I know.
I pay for Sky.
I'm sure you can find it on
But Rory
Sky.
gives out to me. He's like, stop, why are you paying for Sky? But I like to have the telly on in the background. Like, if I'm making dinner or anything like that, I'm just like, I need RTE.
You can have RTE on the
I know,
box.
but you don't. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk after.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
about where you got your dodgy box. Okay, what's one thing you can't live without?
I'm going to have to say my kiddos.
Yes.
I've got 3 of them. They're so cute.
We'll allow you to say that.
Okay, thank you.
I was asked that before, and I think I said my iMac. But that's how I feel.
Well,
like,
in fairness, that's kind of like another baby.
I did say Bonnie. She's 2.5, but a computer. And I thought you were just going to say coffee.
No, but I felt a bit mean saying coffee and not saying my kids.
Yeah, and coffee's cliche, as you said.
Coffee's
first.
my second one.
Okay.
It is my favourite time of the day.
Okay, I like that. Okay. And what's your go-to comfort food?
Okay, this is really niche and it's kind of embarrassing, but it's actually cereal.
Okay, what cereal?
I have no preference.
Okay.
I just really obviously dislike like shredded wheat and things like that. But like
that's
any,
cereal.
yeah, I agree. any cereal, like, okay, I love Cocoa Pops, I love Crunch Nut Cornflakes, any like sugary cereal.
Oh, you like sugary? I'm more of like a plain Rice Krispies or cornflakes.
Well, that's like
up.
on a regular day, but if you're talking about comfort food, like I come home from a night out and I'd like murder about it.
But I think that's really good because it like lines your stomach, as you said. If you come in and have a bowl of cereal, the milk and all.
Yeah.
And I hate soggy cereal. I can't leave it for more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, and then you have to throw it out. Anyway, this is the cereal podcast. But okay, the last little quick fire question is, what's the best bit of advice you've ever gotten?
I have a really good answer to this, but it's business related. Are these allowed to be business questions?
Yes, the Venture Vault, it's allowed to be business related. Yeah.
Okay, I got this really good advice years ago and I'll pass it on. When you own a brand or you work in branding, never be afraid to be Marmite. And that basically says that you have to really know your personality and know who you're selling to and understand that you're not going to please everybody, and you have to be okay with that, because the brands that try and please everybody just get diluted and they don't cut through to the right audience. So if you be Marmite and accept that you're not going to please everybody and not everybody's going to want to buy your product, then the people that do will really understand your brand and they'll become more loyal and you'll become a stronger brand for it.
Oh my God, and that's the end of the podcast. That was such a good piece of advice.
Yeah, I know.
That.
Somebody gave it to me years ago and I always think of it.
I love it kind of reminds me of the expression, something for everyone becomes nothing for no one.
Yeah, that's so true.
But it's like, as you said, like if you try and make something like for everyone to like, you're not going to have those like real loyal people that are like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with what you do.
Yeah, and it's also, it's such an easy thing to accidentally do.
Yeah.
Now, you always think, oh no, my neighbour wouldn't buy that, or my mum wouldn't buy that, or the boys wouldn't buy that, and they're 50% of the population. No, we have to think about everybody. And actually, you just really need to nail down your audience and just think about those people when
it was kind of
my branding
idea with the Venture Vault, because I just wanted to cut through like half our friends, more than half our friends, like we're in the same friend group, wouldn't care about working for themselves. So like I'm doing, so they're all like, go for it. They're also like, I'm never gonna.
Totally. And that's fine.
Venture Vault, but like, that's totally fine. But then when you find the people, like if I found something like this years ago, I'd be like, that's what I want. I want to chat to people about what it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting your own business and to get help with doing it. So that's the goal here. So thank you. Great answers.
Thank you.
I feel like I could ask you 5 more, but we'll get into the origin of, what you do with EverAmbr and formerly Amber Eyewear, which I'd love to actually talk about when you change the name and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But so if I was to ask, before we get into the origin, what would you say that you do and who do you do it for? Because I know you also you're a designer as well.
Right now, I am a freelance graphic designer. I work mainly with D2C brands or e-com brands, and I also have my own eyewear brand on the side that I run with my husband, Daniel.
Yes, we know Daniel very well.
Yes,
also friends since we were all in primary school together. And me and Daniel were best friends when we were like 12.
I know. You're better friends than we were.
Yeah, well, you and me were friends before, like me and Daniel, but then we lived so close together. Me and Daniel were like besties.
Oh, yeah.
But now we always say he gets a lot of airtime. He's on LinkedIn. He's doing great at his job.
Yeah, he does like an old podcast.
I wanted to have you on. I knew Daniel would have been like, he could talk front. But I was like, I want Sacha on. She's the real brains behind EverAmbr. But okay, so take us back then. What was going on in your life when you started thinking, might actually do something. Let's maybe feel out something we want to do for ourselves.
It was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I had just had a baby.
Yeah.
And back then, none of our friends had babies. So we were very much on our own. And, all our pals were out in the pub and we were sitting on the couch every night. And we just kind of said to ourselves, we're so bored. We need to start something on the side. Like, why not? Like, we were trying to think about what to sell and what we could start. And we couldn't think about anything for a long time. And then simultaneously, we were both working 9-to-5 jobs and our eyes were killing us all the time. We were coming home complaining every night that we had red eyes and headaches and all that kind of stuff. And then one day, Daniel came home, said he ordered blue light glasses off Amazon. Like they existed before us. We didn't invent them or anything. So he ordered a pair off Amazon. They weren't great looking. They had bright orange lenses and he wore them into work and came home and said that they were the best thing on planet Earth and his eyes were amazing. He had no pain, no headaches, no blurred vision, all of this stuff. So he said, you have to try them in work tomorrow. So I was a graphic designer in a hotel at the time and I took the glasses in, I put them on and they turned everything on my screen orange.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't use them because obviously I work with colour all the time. So
I remember a picture of them. Like,
they were pretty ugly.
Kind of remind me of like Blur or the Verve, or the guy used to wear.
Yeah, they actually they were like that. They were skinny. Yeah, we're bonnet.
Yeah.
So then I said to Daniel, will you order me a clear pair? And he was like, yeah, no problem. Went onto the internet and he was like, oh no, that doesn't exist.
Wow.
And then we were like, that was kind of like our aha moment. We were like, brilliant. How do we get our hands on a clear pair?
Okay. And you just had to make them yourself?
Well, we actually found a crowd in the States called Felix Gray, and they sold clear lens blue light blockers, but they only shipped within the States. And this was before parcel forwarding, like, you know, the way you can order things to lockers and things like that. Yeah. So you actually couldn't order anything from the States back then. So you couldn't order them. There's also a crowd in Australia that were selling them. The same thing, you couldn't get them delivered to Ireland. So we basically just set about contacting factories everywhere to try and find a factory that could produce these clear blue light blocking lenses.
Okay.
And we found them.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. And then from there, then, like, what was that first, like, so that first step you took was literally ordering, I suppose, going around and finding.
Yeah, like, as I said, we had a baby and we had absolutely no money.
Yeah.
I think we had €1,000 between us. That was it.
Okay.
So we were just like, we contacted a bunch of factories and we're just ordering samples, and we were kind of testing them against like the frame, the quality of the frame, and also the quality of the lenses. And we weren't in a position to go and search for lenses in one factory and a frame in another factory. Yeah. We needed to find somewhere that could do both.
Do everything, yeah.
And that was quite tricky. And I think we went through like 20 factories getting samples. And then eventually, people always say this, but it actually was the last one. We were like, if this crowd delivers something that's not good enough, we're just going to give up.
Yeah.
And when the samples arrived, we were like, they're absolutely amazing.
Okay.
The quality felt great. The lenses were baked with an amber pigment that stopped the blue light from going through, instead of having a coating that can scratch or wear off, which is exactly what we wanted. And
that's why it's called amber.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the name came from.
EverAmbr. Okay, I love that. I didn't know that.
Oh, did you not?
I think I did know that.
Oh, well,
I just thought it was cool because it was like the EverAmbr kind of, because that's a very trendy thing, isn't it?
Yeah, dropping the vowel.
The dropping the vowel, yeah. Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And then at that point, so that was your first product. Did you just have one product to start with? Was it just, or is it like a few styles?
We ordered, it was 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Asteri, the Zenith, and the Aurora, which are now called the Helio. And
I think I still have my Zeniths.
Do you?
In my handbag.
Yeah,
like
then they're a top seller.
I think I bought them in 2017.
And they still
lasted me.
Super.
I'll take them out at the end.
Yeah, do. I should have brought
them with me because I was wondering, will I wear glasses or will I not wear glasses? Because I know we're not on screen, so I was like, actually, I don't need them. But I wear them every day. And I have the kind of pink, the kind of see-through ones. What were they? Are they Zeniths?
As well, yeah.
But they were kind of like upgraded Zeniths or something a few years later.
And they had gold hardware. Yeah, they're very nice.
They were very cool. Yeah, I always loved. Yeah, and also we actually didn't say that our offices were right beside each other for quite a long time as well.
Yeah, Silicon Alley.
You were, yes, I'm saying that to the guys here. So you were like below my office, and then I'd always see you guys getting all your deliveries and all that kind of stuff.
I know. Doesn't that feel like 5 million years ago?
But it kind of was. It was 2018 or 20.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
Yes, it was definitely before COVID.
Yeah.
That's okay. So that was the very first step. That was my question, really. What was the first step? Because I'm kind of trying to think of someone trying to start this. I suppose the first step is solving a problem, really.
Yeah, it's figuring out your product or your service.
And so that wasn't intended to start as a company. It was more, Daniel was like, I need something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how things can just happen sometimes. Okay, so then what about the branding? What stage did you go? Did you get the samples and then go, right, I'm a brand graphic designer. Let's do this.
So I don't like to admit this, but we launched Amber with no branding.
Okay,
we just went for it.
That's testing the market before.
Yeah. Well, actually, what happened was, and I'm always annoyed at Daniel because of this. So we were sitting down. We had no budget left after spending all our money on samples. So we had to teach ourselves how to use Shopify, and we were using a free theme, and we were kind of messing around in the evenings. And, as a designer where you're like, okay, I'm so excited to start this project. I'm going to start my Pinterest boards. I'm going to start researching competitors and putting together loads of logo ideas. And I was kind of starting that process. And Daniel was like, look, I just want to put something on the website. Just a quick logo, like just design something in like 2 seconds and we'll change it. Like, don't worry, it's only temporary. And I was like, I really didn't want to do it. And I was like, fine. So I spent, I'm not joking, I'd say 25 minutes. And
the squiggle.
Yeah, well, it's the Pacifico font that I think I slightly altered. And then it says eyewear in railway. And then the squiggle, which is meant to be like a blue light wavelength. And I sent it to him and I was like, now remember, this is only temporary. He was like, yeah. And then obviously as time went on and we were dealing with the factories and they were producing samples of like cloths and cases.
Yes, I love the cloths.
And the logo just ended up everywhere. And then we were kind of like, we can't change it now.
I love the logo. Like I know it's changed now, but I loved the original logo.
Did you?
The Pacifico font. I actually just did a post the other day saying like Pacifico font for like lifestyle brands.
It is a great font.
Yeah. But I think you used it well because the A is lowercase, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just a large
it's just a large
lowercase.
A.
Is that how the A is in Pacifico? I'm trying to remember. Or did you actually just inflate a small one? Anyway, that's
a good question. Yeah. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure.
I remember the squiggle.
I'm pretty sure it is like that.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know. I could have inflated it.
I loved it. Oh God, like, okay, so and then did you have a colour palette and stuff?
No. So then we were in such a rush. There were so many things. It all happened so fast. There were so many little bits and bobs that we needed to do. So we launched this website that was just completely plain. It was just white.
Yeah.
And we had Daniel's cousin was an amateur photographer. She had done like one photography course like 10 years prior. So she took our photos in the hotel that I worked with, and the models were myself, Daniel, Phoebe and Connor Dooney.
I remember. And I was like, thanks for asking me.
You must have been busy that weekend.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
I remember that so well. And I remember like people, when you start up the Instagram and everything, people like sending pictures of themselves, like influencers.
That's what we needed.
Yeah.
And it was our friends. We didn't have anything else. We had no budget for anything.
I love that.
So we just had to use what we could. And then we just launched with these really dodgy headshots, these really dodgy photos, and a plain white website. And we with the intention of building it as we went. And then eventually I did put together branding and a colour scheme and all that kind of stuff. And I got brand guidelines, and that helped us grow. But at the start, we launched with absolutely nothing.
But that's what they say, is to just start and test and then make sure you have, because that was going to be my next question, is like, how did your first paying customer find you and what did that feel like? Was it through Instagram or what?
No, our first paying customer was actually a guy who worked for a company called, well, maybe GDPR, I shouldn't say this, but he worked for, I can't remember his name. He worked for Reich.
Jim.
Do you know that company, Reich?
Is that like an agency? Like a...
I actually don't know what they do.
Oh.
But I just know that he worked for them.
Okay.
And we were so excited that we got the order in that Daniel went to his office and hand delivered them. The guy was like, excuse me? He was not happy.
Okay.
He was like, what's going on? Daniel was like, sorry, this is a startup and that you were our first customer. And then he was happy and delighted.
Okay, that's a nice little touch to call up.
I can't remember how he found us. I think it might have been like a LinkedIn post or an Instagram or something.
Okay. So you were doing LinkedIn as well. It was kind of like all platforms.
Yeah.
Instagram and LinkedIn.
Instagram and LinkedIn. Yes. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
There was no TikTok at the time.
Okay. And what was the first moment you thought, oh wait, this could be real, this could be a thing. It's gaining a bit of traction.
Do you know when that was? That was when Specsavers tried to sue us.
Oh my God, yes.
That's probably when I was like, oh wow, maybe we're like actually creating a business.
Because of a name, wasn't it? It was.
We had named our Helio. They're now called Helio. One of our first frames. We named them Aurora after our daughter. And they sent us a letter. It was Specsavers Germany, saying that they had an Aurora frame, which wasn't even sold in Ireland, I don't think. And they were taking us to court because of it. So we had to. We really wanted to fight it and be like, it's our daughter's name, it's sentimental. But I think we got advice. I can't remember who we got advice from, a solicitor who was like, don't even try and fight that. You have to change it.
Yeah, but it might have felt nice there.
Yeah, it was kind of exciting being like, wow.
Worried or what's the story? Did you guys need some blue light glasses? So did they do blue light glasses? Did they do?
No, at the time they didn't, no. They had a page on their website that said, it was called like specsavers.com/blue light.
Yeah.
And the whole page was all about their anti-glare coating. And that's all it was.
Okay. But also people weren't really educated. Like, I feel like you guys like single-handedly like educated people on what blue light damage was.
Yeah,
like,
it was a big job to do that.
Yeah. But like it was not, it's more than just a product. It was actually just, didn't Daniel go out to like trade shows and like demonstrate stuff to people?
Yes, we had laser pens and we would show how the laser wouldn't penetrate through the lens, and yeah, we had loads of little experiments we would show people.
Because when people can actually see and test something out.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a kind of a thing of like, oh, test the glasses out and if you're not happy or anything like that?
That was really hard for us. We really wanted to do like a try at home kit kind of a thing where you could like choose 7 frames and try them on. Ace and Tate do that. But it was really hard logistically to do that in Ireland because of the prices of on post and people sending things back and forth. We were never able to do it. And what we did was we got a virtual try-on function on the website.
I loved that.
Which was great. It was in the era before AI, so nothing like that really existed.
Was that expensive to do, like to get that? Because you had to get 3D.
It was expensive.
You had to get 3D like mock-ups of all the glasses, didn't you? And you had a much bigger range by that stage as well.
Yes, we did have a bigger range, but it kind of was killing two birds at one stone, because to photograph the glasses in 360 like that was our product shots.
Yeah.
So it was a crowd in France that did it. So they would photograph your glasses in 360 and create the videos that way. So you're kind of getting two things for the price of one, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it's still not the same virtually trying on glasses. And we always found that people were still kind of a bit hesitant and always asking us. And that's where the whole getting into Brown Thomas idea came about, and the pop-ups, because we just wanted spaces where people could go and try them on.
This is nicely going into my next section, is like what actually grew the business, because obviously we've mentioned loads of stuff there because you've done so much stuff over. It's
nearly 10 years. I think it's 9 years.
Was when you started, wasn't it? 'Cause I just always remember that. And did you have the office in 2017 in Dunleary?
We had the first office we had was, do you remember down above 4-Star Pizza? In Tej, do you remember Jason Tedgy?
Yes,
he had a business
in the office,
and they had a spare room. It was smaller than this room. It was tiny.
But then didn't you move into the bigger room in the same office? I remember
then we moved into the bigger
try
room.
On glasses. Daniel was like, "Come down and we'll try on a few pairs."
God, that feels so long ago.
But he'd done and he'd the map up of like what countries he'd sold in.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I wonder, do we still have that?
That was very cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then you moved near me.
Then we moved near you.
Your favourite office.
Yeah, obviously.
Of course. Yeah.
That was deadly, that office. And then we moved to the big one up above Shoe.
But then that was a nightmare with deliveries and stuff, wasn't it? Because you didn't have the
it was
road,
up a really narrow, it was on a
street.
main street, and it had a narrow staircase, and it was up like 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare.
That was a nightmare. So I was supposed to ask a question about how it grew, like what's been the most reliable way of getting customers? Is it ads or is it?
The most reliable way of getting customers, I would say, word of mouth.
Okay.
Like Irish people are everywhere. They're all over the world. And
you've sold in how many countries?
We've sold in 90 countries.
90.
Yes.
Wow.
But yeah, word of mouth, people love to tell us that. They love to message us and say, oh, so-and-so told me about these glasses. I just got them. I love them too. And they're the stories that we hear most. Ads obviously do work, but you have to put money into those ads. And it's not the same as the free promotion of word of mouth.
And Daniel is a bit of an SEO wizard, isn't he?
Yeah, when we first started, yes, it obviously was a different time before AI, where an SEO was really important back then. And he was very much into AI or into SEO and
having the right search terms, like
and having all your page links that links back to the website to make the website stronger and all the different pages.
Yes, I remember him telling me that.
Yeah.
The more links you have out there of your website,
linking back,
Google loves that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that was huge. That was huge in growing at the start.
Yeah, doing articles and things like that and having it all linking back the whole time. And so, like, did you think, what vital role do you think branding played in that? Like the kind of aesthetics and the kind of look of it, and kind of like, oh, this is something cool I want to be. Because I feel like the aesthetic has always been cool. Like it's chic and it's people want to wear them that don't. I wanted to wear them when I don't need glasses.
Yeah, I love
that's the vibe though. Yes. Like it is, and like it's kind of people in offices, and it was a very big thing at the time, still is, to be like in work looking cool.
Yeah. I think when we launched Amber, we very much did not want to go down the route of Specsavers or an opticians. We didn't want to be seen because I feel like both of those are quite medical.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to be seen as medical, or functional or anything like that. And we easily could have. We easily could have had a small Amazon store that was basically brandless, and we could have sold a lot that way. But we really wanted to create something that kind of aligned with us and our friend group and the way that we interpreted brands. We wanted to just basically appeal to all of our friends.
Yeah, because your friends are really cool.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
No, but I love that, because then you also used like a lot of our friends in like all the stuff going
in all of our videos.
No, but you did. But I love that, because then we'd all be like, oh, look, like there's.
Yes,
I remember the one of Jodie going through like clothes in a shop somewhere. in town, and she was like, what'll I buy next? Amber Eyewear. And it was like, loved all that, because it's really homegrown. It feels really authentic and kind of homegrown, and then I think people feel that when they're
and then I think you also, if you have something a little bit quirky or a little bit different, you have a better chance then of getting stocked in stores, and you have a better chance of other people picking up your product and being actually genuinely interested in it if they see your comms or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Because I think then that's a good way to talk about the pop-ups, because the pop-ups are exciting.
Yeah,
I feel like I remember like, so there was Brian Thomas, there was the Wicklow Street, and then you also remember in Black Rock, you got that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a thing you won?
Yeah, the Black Rock was, it was a competition with Champion Green that we won, and it was a free pop-up store space for, I can't remember, it was 9 months or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a really difficult time because it was just when COVID had finished.
Okay.
So people were wearing masks and were terrified of touching things. So they'd come into the store and kind of almost be too scared to try the glasses on.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times they'd ask you to wipe them down before you tried them on. And just people were really apprehensive about the whole thing.
And you had to have someone to man the store as well, didn't you?
Yeah, which we were both working for Amber full time at the time. So we did it ourselves. We actually hired 2 part-time staff to give us a hand. But people weren't shopping in real life as comfortably as normal yet.
Yeah.
Do you know, people were still too scared to go out and about. No one was hanging out in Blackrock Shopping Centre. So there was no footfall. People weren't really back in offices yet.
It's upstairs in Blackrock Shopping Centre.
Yes, and it's at the back. Like you don't have to pass it to get to the supermarket. Most people go in there for the supermarket. Do you know?
But any opportunity to like get the brand and name out there. Shop. But that was the first one, the pop-up on Wicklow Street.
Yeah, that was just before COVID.
That was the coolest thing ever when we had the launch party and everything.
Wasn't that so fun?
Oh my God, it was so cool. To see, that must have been a really like exciting moment to be like, to see your logo above the door.
Yeah, that was definitely one of our highs.
And for Christmas, wasn't it? It was just a Christmas
It ended on New Year's Eve. I think we had a party on New Year's Eve to end it.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, it was a good party. It was so fun.
And then you had Brian Hanratty doing like coffee or something.
Yeah,
like that, wasn't it?
It worked so well because Brian he owns Happy Out.
Yeah, coffee shop in Dunedin.
And
in loads of places now.
In loads of places, yeah. But at the time he only had Bull Island, which is very much like a destination coffee shop. And we knew that he was interested in expanding and he wanted to test the waters of having a coffee shop in an urban environment to see if it would work, if his brand would translate. So we kind of knew that he was interested in that. And then we really wanted to do a pop-up. And then when we found out the price of a pop-up, we were like, we can't do that by ourselves.
I remember you saying that.
So yeah, we partnered with Brian and it actually worked so much better because the coffee brought everybody in.
Yes.
Do you know, because if
that
you
was kind of the front of the shop, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you pass an eyewear store and you don't need glasses, you're never going to walk in there. No. And people didn't realise that it was blue light glasses for people that don't wear glasses. And it was just a really hard... Because at the start of the shop, we had the coffee at the very back and nobody knew it was there.
Yeah.
And people were only coming in that wore glasses and looking for prescriptions, but other people would never walk in. And then we switched it around, put the coffee at the front, and the shop was like buzzing the whole time.
Yeah, because it's actually, and maybe this was intentional, but like it's actually, you think like glasses and coffee, what are you talking about? But they do go really well together because it's that kind of a person that would go get their coffee, they work. It's like, it actually does go really, really well. Was that intentional or?
Yeah, it was a little bit intentional. And we had...
you knew Brian anyway, like you're old friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we had a really high, long, skinny table made for the centre of the store. And the idea was that we wanted people to come in and get a coffee and like do some co-working and like hang out.
Oh my God, I remember that. I actually remember Daniel being like, guys, if anyone wants to work, come into town.
Some people did, but it was always just our friends.
But, but it was such a good... And like, even I remember you saying though, like, even if it didn't make any, like a profit or anything like that, it didn't matter. It was like to get into town.
Yes.
And to be seen in town. And even for all the marketing around that, to be like, look at us.
Exactly. It's like a marketing project. You're just getting your brand out there.
I love those kind of things though, because I feel like you think you always have to make money on something and like, but sometimes it's just the visibility. And as you said, word of mouth and people talking about it, because then they might see it online and go, oh, I remember, I saw that, I walked past that or whatever. That's so cool. And then from that was then Brown Thomas the next.
No, we were
across
actually
the road because it is across the road.
No, we were actually in Brown Thomas first, and they weren't happy.
Sorry.
They weren't happy with us when we opened Wicklow Street.
Oh, stop! Really?
Because they thought that we were going to take all the attention away from Brown Thomas. Nobody would buy glasses in Brown Thomas.
It's nice
if they
to be
could
wanted.
Buy them. But I can't remember what happened in the end. We reached some sort of agreement and it was fine.
Yeah, I remember the pop-up stand because remember you got the Third Mind design to do it.
Yes, yeah. We had
cool.
2. We had one up in women's wear and then one down in menswear.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was great.
And lights and everything on it, I remember.
Yeah, it was hard because we had to educate people on blue light. So we had to have the stand made in such a way that we could have information on it that very quickly told people what they were.
Because there wouldn't be someone standing there.
Exactly,
yeah. Would you have to tell staff like, here, come here, here's what blue light blocking
we
glass
did.
like.
We actually went in a lot. We went in like every couple of weeks and like would gather all the staff around and give them the spiel and what they should say.
Wow.
But they have such high turnover in there, well they did back then, and they have a lot of seasonal staff and stuff, so that was kind of hard to rely on staff. So kind of the stand did a lot of the heavy work.
Okay. And do you think, so the next question is kind of like, what do you think your secret sauce was? Do you think it was those kind of like big marketing things like the pop-up shops and stuff, or word of mouth,
Secret
really, I think you
sauce.
said?
Yeah, I think our secret sauce
Consistency, maybe?
was, consistency of outputting. I know I don't like the word content, and it wasn't
No,
really content,
but you
but it
did a
was,
lot of that, video content and
yeah,
stuff, yeah.
we did a lot, and we were kind of out there a lot. We were doing pop-ups and trade shows, and we were saying yes to everything. We said yes to everything, and
Yeah.
sometimes it was to our detriment, and we'd be in a school hall in the UK, standing there for hours, being like, "What are we doing here?"
Really? I didn't know you did that.
Yeah,
That's so
we did.
interesting.
Yeah, we did Camden Market, and we got there. We were like, "What are we doing here?" We did a sleep expo in Dubai, and we got
I
there.
think I remember that,
and it was
actually.
a mattress convention. It was so funny, but it was fun. It was, and it led
And what,
to
having a pop-up stand at it, or just an educational talk?
No, it was a full-blown giant stand.
Okay.
They pitched it as it's a sleep conference, and it was all about sleep. And obviously, blue light glasses help you with your circadian rhythm. And we have loads of spiel about sleep on our website. So we thought it'd be a great fit.
Yeah.
And we got there, and every single stand was just mattresses.
And like, it wasn't for people to buy, it was just for information and
It was,
for
yeah.
suppliers to maybe go.
It was
"Oh,
for
we'll stock you."
suppliers, and actually, we actually did find a supplier who.
I was just going to say, yeah, you probably got something out of it.
Yeah, we did. No, we did.
And a mattress.
We didn't buy any mattresses. No.
To buy, but still, even like having that story, like, and I think that's what's really like done well for you guys is like the story behind. It's like you're a couple that like have small children, and you're just like going for it. And like, I think there was a lot of articles, I remember at the time, and it's like, there still is like stuff. We'll talk about the kind of rebrand and stuff later, but like that's always been at the kind of crux of it. Like, it's in the paper, it's like the couple who, started. And I think to have that as part of your marketing has really worked.
Yeah.
Really, really well. You're not
like,
a faceless brand.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that was very intentional. We were very much like trying to be out there, trying to say yes to everything. Yeah, and you do notice that in revenue. Like, we always notice that when we are at our most busy, attending events and putting on pop-ups and all that kind of stuff, then the reflection is shown in your revenue for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, because you can see the trends.
You can see it, yeah.
I love that. And then I suppose then for a little while you went off and worked in an actual, you stopped working for yourself for a little while. Amber was still going.
I did. Yes.
But then you worked for Sculpted, which is Amy Connolly's big, huge juggernaut. Isn't that the word they say? Yeah. I heard that word the other day. I was like, I love that word. I'm going to use it in the podcast.
I've never heard that word.
I think it like means like a big, massive thing that can't be stopped. I could be wrong.
But that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Like, so what was it like going to working from, because I'm fascinated with this because I've only ever worked for myself. And I think I did work for Cleena as boss for a while, like taking invoices and stuff like that for like in like 2015 for like the summer when I moved back from Edinburgh. But I don't know what it's like to work for a big company, and suppose I don't really want to. But then there's days where I do want to. So I'd love to hear a perspective of actually going from working for yourself to working for someone for what was it, a year or even?
Nearly 2 years.
Oh, was it 2 years? I think it was that long. And then going back to working for yourself again. I know you have 3 kids, and there's a whole logistics point to it too.
Yeah.
But how did you find going from working for yourself to then suddenly working in a big company?
It was a cool company. It was great. Honestly, it was fascinating. Like, I'd worked for myself for I think nearly 5 years. So it was a long time. And COVID was in the middle of all that. So it was a lot of like isolation, not being around people. Yeah. So it was actually such a breath of fresh air at the time.
I can imagine.
It was so nice being in an office with loads of people. And what was really nice was I was on the design team. So I could focus on just design. Yeah. Whereas with Amber, obviously you're running the business, so you're doing so many things that aren't
being pulled in different directions.
Yeah, and you end up doing like 5% of your time is designing stuff. Whereas in Sculpted, I was doing just pure design the whole time.
And it finished at 5 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was really, really, really nice. And because of the nature of that business, and it's so fast paced and so much happens, you're designing so much stuff all the time that your skills improve so much.
Yes.
And you get so much experience in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think I would have got experience like that anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it was also fascinating from a business perspective to see how that business functioned and how it worked.
And how she started from being a makeup artist to starting her own e-commerce.
She's like a powerhouse.
She is. That's the word you always said whenever you talked about it. Like, we were all so excited for you when you got the job. And I was like, that's such a cool job. And you were like, she's a powerhouse.
Yeah, she is a powerhouse.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, she's everywhere. And I feel like me and Daniel are kind of more like just messers.
Yeah,
She's
well,
like,
no, that's your perspective of it. You're definitely not messes, but that's what. No, but I feel like a messer too. Like, not that I'm like on your level of like what you guys have done, but like you do sometimes. You're like, they're going to be found out. Someone's going to come home and be like, she doesn't know what she's talking. That's how I feel definitely sometimes. But yeah, I like that kind of thing of having that real industry experience must have been amazing. And I'm sure there's cons to that too, though. Like, was there anything that you missed that you were like, oh, I'd like if I worked for myself, I could just go for a nap?
Definitely with the kids, I found was the main driver for why I wanted to go back working for myself. I feel like in the sculpted offices, if I had that job 10 years prior, I would have stayed there forever. But I think at that stage in my life, I had 2 kids. I just gotten married. I wanted to have more kids. And because I was having my last baby, I wanted to be at home, and I wanted to not let that pass me by in a juggle of busyness whenever you're working in an office.
And also I remember you saying as well, like if the kids were sick or something like that, you were like, I just wanted to be able to leave.
I found that really hard. And I also, do you know what I found really hard is the concept of annual leave.
Okay.
It's like, you don't think about it until you're in the situation, but you have to ask somebody else for permission to like go to your kids' play or something. Or you have to ask, can you go on holidays? And they might say no. That never happened to me. They never said no to me. But just the idea that they could say no and be like, no, sorry, it doesn't suit us. I hate that concept.
It's the trade-off, I always think, for having the security, for working from 9 to 5, and that's it. That your weekends are your weekends. It's the trade-off. I think that like it just, there has to be some sort of trade, and the security of like having the same salary every month.
Yes, that was for sure very nice. Having a salary that doesn't rely
date,
on
and
revenue.
you're not chasing people going, why haven't you paid me?
Yes.
Yeah, and not worrying about trends and different things like that, and like, oh, we're quieter in the summer. It's just like I just get paid.
Exactly, and you're not chasing work or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
I know, and I've had times. My sister always says it's every 3 months. I go through a phase of like, but will I just go work somewhere? I think it's been sometimes 6 months. I think
everybody feels like that. When they work for themselves.
And I feel like maternity leave doesn't exist when you work for yourself either.
Yeah, that's true.
But now there's 2 of you in it. Like, as in, I suppose hopefully you were good at like, you know, balancing that a little bit. But like, I remember when I had Bonnie, I was like, I have to save up to have my daughter.
I know.
And then I had to go limited as well, because I remember that's another thing which is probably interesting for people who are listening, if they're thinking of working for themselves. If you're a limited company, you can still pay yourself then, like the way anyone that working in a normal company would get maternity pay.
Yes.
But if you're a sole trader, which is just, you know, you pay yourself whenever, whatever, and then you just pay one big tax bill at the end of the year, you're not supposed to be working. So you can't really take any money out of the company. You're a sole trader. So I got good advice on it, and they were like, go limited. And I was like, that's really scary. And they were like, do it. You can still, then you're an employee of yourself.
I know.
And I always remember our friend Cleena saying this before, like when we were younger, she'd always be like, just put it through the company or just not. I was like, there has to be money in the company for me to be put, I think like she had this concept that I had this like having a company has this endless flow of money. I just buy you lunch, put on the company. And I'm like, doesn't work like that. But I think that's really interesting. I was dying to ask you about the sculpted stuff, because I was like, that would be so cool. It would also be my dream to do something like that, to work with like doing design for like such a cool brand. But then I know, so you were kind of pulled back to Amber.
Yes.
And is that when you decided to rebrand Amber to EverAmbr, or was it before?
No, it was when I left Sculpted. So basically Amber slowed down for a multitude of reasons. COVID was so busy for us.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was like Black Friday every single day. And we naively didn't foresee that ending.
Okay.
So we were ordering like huge amounts of stock, not taking care of our finances. We never really had a gauge on what our P&L was. We didn't know anything about our finances. So inevitably that kind of will slow your business down a good bit. And not only that, but blue light glasses were slightly a bit of a trend, and everybody was talking about blue light. And then you get to a stage where the lifetime value of a customer is quite low, because you buy a pair of glasses and they're going to last you like yours from 2017. They last you years. So people coming back,
reinvent stuff all the time.
Yes, but we didn't.
Okay.
So that was another thing.
You had new styles out.
New styles, yes, but not new products.
Okay.
Which is probably what we should have done. We didn't expand our range or create any new collections or anything. We just kept going in the optical blue light glasses industry or range, and that was difficult for us because, basically people don't continuously buy glasses on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So Amber had basically slowed down. We were both working for I was working for Sculpted, Daniel was working for Wayflyer. And then when I decided to go freelance, we were kind of like, what'll we do with Amber? Will we keep it going? Will we shut it down? We didn't know what to do with it. So
but it was still going when you were both working full time.
Yeah, no, it was still going. And it was still, we were getting orders.
Time-wise?
We didn't really put any effort into it, to be honest. We didn't have the time, but we were getting orders all the time. We were getting like 20 or 30 orders a week.
But that just shows how much I know, but that's 20, 30 orders a week. That just shows how much you built it so strong at the start that it had this lasting effect. Even though I know you said it was slowing down, but you were doing other things too. So like it was fine for it to be slowing down.
We weren't relying on it for our salary or anything like that like we had been in the past. So we just didn't really know what to do with it. So we were also kind of a little bit sick of it because we had done it for so long, and it's only myself and Daniel. We didn't have employees or anything.
You were blue in the face talking about blue light.
Yeah, well done.
Thanks.
So we were kind of like, what should we do? Hemming and hawing. And then obviously wellness after COVID is like the biggest trend on planet Earth. Yes, so there's been such an uptake on people running and being obsessed with running. So we're thinking about how could we get into the running space or the sports space or the health and wellness space. We were just thinking of ideas that we could do. And we just thought, you know what, why don't we completely rebrand, start afresh, start selling sports glasses and start selling red blue light blocking glasses, which are way stronger and help you way more with recovery, sports recovery and sleep. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And then
they're the ones you put on before you go to bed, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But they turn everything a really dark red colour, so you can't wear them when you're working.
I feel like you're in a photo developing room.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Never tried them on, but
that's exactly what it's like.
Slip me a pair later.
I will. Yeah. I'll send you a pair.
Okay, and that's to kind of bring down your kind of like
exactly. It blocks
everything.
It blocks almost 99% of blue light, so they're really, really strong. And people notice such a difference in their sleep when they're wearing them, and especially athletes for recovery. So we kind of decided to go down the route of like a health and wellness brand, and we're kind of like, we have eyewear for all occasions.
And you still do the blue light blocking.
We still do the blue light blocking glasses too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we just have a much larger range.
Yeah. What about, and I've seen obviously all the promotion for it and all the content is all like cool runners and like athletes. And it has changed in what it is. But I think, like you said, like you've gone with the trend of like, because I like the blue light blocking glasses is like a health thing, like it was.
Exactly.
But now, as you said, like the world has gone health mad, like, so it's kind of almost, it's a build on. It's like a natural
like we
progression
weren't like totally pivoting into a whole new industry. We were just kind of leaning towards one aspect of the brand that we already existed slightly.
Yeah.
But then we ran into another issue, that sports glasses and running glasses are very seasonal. So people buy those in the summertime, obviously, because they're sunglasses. Yeah. And then when you come into the winter, those sales go way down. So like it's still a learning curve. Like, and we still haven't nailed down our branding, and we still haven't nailed down the website. And obviously with the emergence of AI, there's so much opportunity to do whatever you can think of.
I know.
So we're kind of throwing ideas. Yeah. It's mind blowing.
And how has that affected? This may be a technical question, but like I see a lot now about how like AI SEO, like SEO is kind of not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's like if someone types in, I'm having trouble sleeping, is there glasses for that? It should it's like, how does EverAmbr come up and say, well, we've got these red ones?
Well, that's a funny question. Yesterday, we were sitting in the kitchen and Daniel got a phone call from a customer asking a question about his glasses. And then at the end of the call, Daniel said, can I just ask, how did you hear about us? And he goes, Google Gemini.
Okay, so
he said he put into Google Gemini who sells the best blue light blocking glasses in Ireland. And I said, Amber.
Oh, okay. So Google likes you guys.
Google does like us,
AI likes you guys. Because you know who talks about a lot is, do you know Deck of Deck's Pets?
Yes.
He's a good friend of Rory's, and he's been on, we always like him for being like, you're on every e-commerce panel, like, but him and Daniel, I think, were on one before. I think Daniel missed it because he got the time wrong or something like that. But he talks a lot about now, like, the AI, that you have to be readable by AI, whatever way that works. It has to be like, you know, and to have your content on your website spoken of in the way that we just ask it questions, you know, like because we type it in so conversationally, and it has to be conversationally written on your website or something like that.
Yeah, and I think gone are the days of like having massive blog posts where you're just trying to stuff all your keywords in for SEO. I think it's totally changed now.
Totally changed. It's changing all the time. But yeah, like you said, you can build so many things with AI and stuff now. It's like endless. I'm trying to look into stuff to, you know, have you heard of Lovable?
Yeah.
It's so cool. But Lovable, I'm trying to like streamline. My dad's like old IP telephony company on it. I'm like, Dad, because he's at home like doing orders, and I'm like, you could just have like a John bot. His name's John. To like answer customer, like just because all they're asking him about is like IP telephones they have in the way every company would have, like every big like college would all have these phones at the desk, and they're IP phones, so they like work on the internet. That's what he sells. And I'm like, you could have a bot that was just like, and he's like, no, but the human interaction, and he's right. So he is right, but I'm like, you could automate a lot of the stuff that takes him a lot of time. But okay, I'm going to go back to my little questions because that was so like interesting. I find that, and actually before I stop, the EverAmbr branding, did you like how did you come up with EverAmbr?
I remember we had this slogan where we wanted to be like ever cool, ever fast, ever something, EverAmbr as like an ad, which we never did. But I can't remember. We needed to keep the name Amber because we had so much stock of the blue light glasses, and it says Amber everywhere. So we couldn't like totally choose a new name. It would be such a waste. And we just felt like EverAmbr worked. But the branding is definitely a work in progress. So apologies if anyone goes onto that website. It's kind of a luminous greeny kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
there's some neon green.
I like it. Okay, so a few quick fire questions because I feel like we're nearly at the end. But before we get into some advice from you, because I'd love to hear what you would want to say to someone starting out. But like this guy calls it the juicy bits. But like, so I think you've kind of answered one of these, like the hardest thing you ran into, like the hardest wall, and maybe like the COVID thing you were saying, like kind of
the COVID and the finances for sure. We definitely had our head in the sand a little bit in terms of using revenue as a vanity metric.
Yeah,
we had no idea how much profit we were making. We were just focusing on revenue the whole time. That was definitely, I'd say, the hardest wall we ever had to face.
And would you do something differently, like get a
get a finance person on your team?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of that at the moment, being like, I need to switch over accounts packages.
Yeah,
and even the thought of it is making me go, ugh. I'm like, can I just pay someone to do this for me?
Do.
I need to get on to Brian. I need to talk to you afterwards about that. But then the other one was the coolest feeling, and I think like you were saying maybe the Wicklow Street store, like, or what was the coolest bit that you sat there and went, I'm really, that's cool.
Yeah, loads of examples. I would say the pop-up stores.
Yeah.
I'd say one that really stands out is one time I was going on the dart into town and somebody sat beside me and they were wearing amber glasses. And I was like,
cool.
My God.
I love that.
Yeah, and once or twice I've seen our tote bags, which we didn't even sell that many of.
I still have one.
Do you?
Yeah. The cream one with the black logo on it, yeah.
Yeah, when I see that in real life, I'm like, whoa, that's huge.
We've touched people's lives. Oh, that's amazing. I never thought of that. I didn't know that. Okay, and so what's one thing you do now to like protect your energy and time? Because I feel like you have a lot going on. Is there anything that you like?
Oh, do you know what? I do not protect my energy and time. Oh my God, it's such a juggle.
Yeah.
No, I have not figured that out.
Yeah.
No.
Coming and doing podcasts. I'll get you every month and get you an hour to yourself.
Thank you.
So yeah, I suppose I was going to ask you what you're most proud of.
Within Amber.
Yeah. Well, anything. You can be anything.
I would say the pop-up on South William Street.
Really?
Yeah, having a pop-up not South William Street, on Wicklow Street. Having a pop-up just off Grafton Street was so special.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was that time of year where everything was sparkly and...
Yeah, and you have the sign out the door and you could see the logo from Grafton Street. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, I remember going to it. I got a taxi and I was like, they've made it. They've made it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so really quick, I'm going to do some advice because I feel like we're out of time. But okay, so this is like advice for anybody starting out who might be sitting at home like you guys were and were like, I want to start something, but I don't know what. So what kind of resources would you say, like for someone starting an e-commerce brand? Like would you, Shopify, is that a good thing? Or what kind of...
If you're starting an e-commerce brand, yes, I would 100% recommend Shopify. It's really easy to use. They have such good supports and such good help. You can contact them all the time. It's really self-explanatory, especially if you're starting off with like a free theme or something. It's really basic. It's very easy to figure out, especially now in the age of AI. I mean, if you can't understand something, all you have to do is ask AI and it'll tell you.
And there's YouTube videos on how to do things and everything like that.
Exactly. I feel like that's definitely
bootstrapping it,
the way to go. Yeah, bootstrap it. And then also the local enterprise office.
Oh yeah,
which surprisingly is they're great. And it's not something you would know about had you not have had a business before. Well, I certainly had never heard of them. But they are brilliant. They offer so much support. They do courses and meetups and grants. They help you with your salary if you want to leave employment and start a business. They can help you if you enroll in some kind of a course. They help with a percentage of your salary. So they did years ago. I don't know if that's still the case, but there's loads of things that they offer.
There is so much support, microfinance, and loads of loans and things like that.
Yeah, I would definitely check out the Elio.
Because when I was starting off the Venture Vault, like I've had this idea for like 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. And I kind of, one question I was like, well, but what about the local enterprise? And I was like, yeah, they're amazing, but I kind of want to be the friendly community vibe of that, like an extension of something like, go get your proper, grants and your kind of go to the talks and all, but this is like a community kind of piece that kind of, so come join the Venture Vault. But okay, so that's really cool. And
that's actually so important when you're starting out, because
to have someone to
have people to talk to, it's like invaluable, because you don't realize how much other people are struggling just as much as you, or or little tidbits of information or tips that they could give you that can totally transform what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And you don't realize that until you're actually chatting to people. And it's hard unless you're going to a networking event to chat to people like that.
Yeah.
So if there is a place where you can chat to other business owners or aspiring business owners, that's amazing.
Yeah. And to have, the idea is going to have, you have guest speakers on, or like an accountant in, and to chat to people and like answer their burning questions. I hope to have an accountant on the podcast too, to be like, where do we start? How do we not get ourselves in an absolute mess of finances? That happens so easily, like literally happens so easily. But for someone looking to like enhance their digital presence, or like what are their starting points, would you say, like kind of, if they're like, I've gotten an idea, but like, do I go to Instagram? Do I go to LinkedIn, or what could I do to kind of boost my...
Okay, digital presence. I would say, where do you want everybody to end up?
Yeah.
Are you selling a service or a product? And are you going to do that on a website? If you want everybody to be going to your website, you obviously have to work on that
What's
first.
the call to action? Isn't that what they say? Yeah.
So if you have your website really good and good to go, then you can focus on all your other stuff, and then you can start your Instagram accounts, your TikTok accounts, and they can all lead to your website and maybe lead to landing pages or whatever you have.
Yeah.
But I would say start with the website.
Start with the website, yeah. And I feel like even as I see companies on Instagram who don't even have a website, but they like, there's like people
too.
Like that run like making cakes from, I always say that's like my other dream.
And DM me to order.
Yeah. And
so
I'm like,
strange.
how do they keep track of it all? Like, but I think that's still very homegrown. Like, and I feel like for a lot of people, like maybe starting there is kind of like, that's fine to start there. And that was kind of leading into my next question of like DIY versus professional, like when to kind of do the bits yourself and when to be like, no, now we need to hire a professional. What would you say?
I would say you 100% have to rely on your skill set first.
Yeah.
So if you're a finance person, that's
unless
amazing.
You've a load of money.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
If you've got a finance background, you should take care of the finances and then get somebody in to help you with the creative stuff, or get somebody in to help you with the tech stuff. Or if you're a creative person, get somebody in to help you with your finances. Because if it's something that you're not well versed in, maybe starting out you can get by, but it's not a good idea to try and do that yourself.
I agree. Yeah, know your strengths, really.
Yeah, know your strengths.
You could be the most creative person in the world and then just so bad at running a business.
Exactly.
It's because it is a business at the end of the day. I was so bad when I started out. I would be like charging people like €35 for a logo and stuff like that. I didn't know how business worked. It was only then when you kind of see, and Instagram's great for that as well, is to see what other people are doing as well. There's a load of creators out there that's in that industry, but like to kind of look around at what other people are doing, I think is a really good way of doing it. But I love that. I love that you said that, as in like rely on your own skills and know what you can do and know what you definitely can't do. Okay, so I suppose we're kind of wrapping it up, but I suppose for someone listening who like kind of wants to start but doesn't know, what they want to do yet or anything, what's like one little step you think they could take this week?
Oh my gosh. Okay. This week, if they're thinking of starting a business, do they have a business idea?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
They've got no idea.
No, they've got no idea, but they're like, I want to do something.
Okay. Do you know what? If you're thinking about, if you don't know what the business is going to be, but you want to sell something, a really good piece of advice that actually somebody gave me in the past was, you should find something that is small, lightweight, and not too valuable, because then it doesn't cost money to ship it when you're getting stock or when you're shipping it to your customers. It doesn't really matter if it gets lost in the post when you're sending it out to customers, and you don't need a warehouse. You can keep stock at home until you're figuring things out. So if you could find something that fits that niche description, that's a good idea.
No, that's really interesting, because you don't want to, if everything you have that you're selling is like massive,
like
and
if you're selling like Palladio reformer beds, where are you going to keep those?
And also the cost of shipping.
Yeah, exactly.
The weight. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. That's a good e-commerce little tip there. Okay. So what's one myth about starting that you'd love to gently throw in the bin?
Oh, that working for yourself gives you unlimited freedom.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't.
I knew you were going to say that. It doesn't.
It's
no.
nice to think that, oh, you work for yourself. You can just pick and choose when you work, like take time off whenever you want. You don't take the time off.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. So, okay, what was I going to say? So where can people find you, and where, what are you doing at the moment? What would you like people to know about you before you go?
Well, so I'm in the middle of kind of figuring out the EverAmbr website. It's live and you can shop it, but it's not perfect, but we're working on it. But hopefully in the next few weeks, it'll be beautiful.
Beautiful.
So yeah, if you go on to everambr.com.
And you're also freelance designer.
And I'm also a freelance designer.
Okay.
Yes, but you can reach out to me.
A fabulous one. She's amazing.
Yeah, you can reach out to me on any of the EverAmbr socials, because that's me.
That's me. Okay. And the very last thing, I know I keep saying last thing, but what would you say to someone who's quietly scared but wants to try?
Quietly scared but wants to try starting a business?
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is, when you work for yourself, you have a very, very, very small opportunity at making it big or creating a life that you really want to live while supporting your family. Whereas if you work for somebody else, you don't have that opportunity at all. It's zero. There's zero opportunity of that. So if you have a slight, tiny opportunity of maybe making that happen, why would you not just try and go for it? You can always go back to work if it doesn't work out.
I love that. Yeah. I think we should end on that. That's a very lovely positive note. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Shona.
I had so much fun. Oh my goodness. And we'll have a little cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much for having me. That was so fun.
If this chat sparked something in you, take one tiny step this week. And when you're ready for structure, clarity, and real support while you build, you'll find it inside the Venture Vault. I'll see you next time for another chat with someone who'll help starting feel possible.